Welcome back to Coins Numismatic Series. Today we have an exciting lineup for all coin collectors and enthusiasts. The top 5 rare and valuable Kennedy half-dollar coins. Whether you're just starting out or a seasoned numismatist, this list will help you understand which Kennedy half-dollars could be worth big money. So if you have any of these in your collection, you might be sitting on a fortune. Let's dive in. 1971. Kennedy half-dollar coin with mint mark D and fine condition. The 1971 Kennedy half-dollar marks an important shift in U.S. coinage history. Prior to 1971, Kennedy half-dollars contained silver. 40% silver from 1965 to 1970. But starting in 1971, the U.S. Mint transitioned completely to a copper-nickel-clad composition, removing silver from regular circulation coins. This decision was made due to rising silver prices and the increasing cost of minting silver coins. Despite its high mintage, the 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar has gained collector interest because of certain rare varieties and errors that make it extremely valuable in the right condition. The obverse of the coin showcases a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy, designed by sculptor Gilroy Roberts. Above his head, the word Liberty is inscribed, while the date 1971 sits just below his neck. The motto, "In God We Trust," is split on either side of the portrait. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, features the iconic presidential seal, with an eagle clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other. The words United States of America and half-dollar encircle the design. The Denver Mint's D mint mark appears just below Kennedy's bust on the obverse side, distinguishing it from the Philadelphia and San Francisco issues. The Denver Mint produced 302,097,424 Kennedy half-dollars in 1971, a large number that means many were released into circulation. Since most of these were used in everyday transactions, finding one in high-grade condition is difficult. Many of these coins exhibit heavy wear due to circulation, but uncirculated examples and rare error coins command premium prices. One of the most valuable aspects of the 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar is its error coins. Some of the most sought-after varieties include 1971 D overstruck on a silver planchet. Some coins were mistakenly struck on leftover 40% silver planchets from 1970. If you find a 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar that weighs around 11.5 grams instead of the 11.5 grams of a regular coin, usual 11.34 grams, you might have a rare silver planchet error. These can sell for thousands of dollars depending on condition. Doubled die obverse. Some 1971 D half-dollars exhibit noticeable doubling in the inscriptions, especially in God We Trust and Liberty. A strong doubled die example in high-grade condition can fetch several hundreds to thousands of dollars. Off-center strikes coins that were struck off-center by a significant margin, 10% or more, are rare and highly collectible. The value varies based on how off-center the strike is and whether the full date and mint mark are visible. Missing clad layer. Some 1971 D Kennedy half-dollars were struck with a missing clad layer, revealing the copper core. These errors are noticeable due to their reddish appearance and can be worth several $100s, especially in uncirculated grades. Market value and collector demand. While the 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar is common in circulated grades, its real value lies in high-grade specimens, error coins, and rare varieties. Here's what collectors can expect in terms of value. Circulated condition. Generally worth 50 cents to a few dollars, unless it has an error. Uncirculated condition, MS63 to MS65, can be valued at $10 to $50. High-grade examples, MS67 and above, extremely rare and can fetch anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 at auction. Major errors, silver planchet, doubled die, off-center. Depending on the severity of the error, values can range from $500 to over $10,000. One of the most expensive 1971 D Kennedy half-dollars ever sold was a high-grade MS67 Plus example, which fetched over $6,000 at auction. These high-grade examples are hard to find due to weak strikes and poor handling during minting. If you have a 1971 D Kennedy half-dollar, check its weight, look for doubling, and inspect for errors. A simple 50-cent coin could be worth a fortune if it has the right characteristics. Whether you're hunting through pocket change or examining old collections, this coin is worth a closer look. Now let's move on to the next 1985 Kennedy half-dollar coin with mint mark P and fine condition. The 1985 P. Kennedy half-dollar is part of a long-standing series that began in 1964, honoring the late President John F. Kennedy. By 1985, the Kennedy half-dollar had been in circulation for over 2 decades, but it was no longer a widely used coin in everyday transactions. Instead, it had become more of a collector's piece, often seen in coin rolls, collections, and bank vaults, rather than in pocket change. The 1985 issue continued the copper-nickel-clad composition that was first introduced in 1971, after the mint removed silver from circulation half-dollars. While this coin is relatively common, certain factors such as high-grade specimens, errors, and demand from collectors have made it quite valuable in the numismatic world. The obverse of the 1985 Kennedy half-dollar, designed by Gilroy Roberts, features a striking left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. Surrounding the portrait, the inscriptions include Liberty across the top, In God We Trust, split across both sides of Kennedy's profile, and the date, 1985, below his chin. The Philadelphia Mint's P mint mark appears just above the date. On the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, we see the iconic presidential seal featuring a majestic eagle holding an olive branch in one talon and arrows in the other, symbolizing peace and strength. The eagle's chest bears a shield, and a ring of 50 stars surrounds the seal, representing the 50 states. The inscriptions United States of America and half-dollar encircle the entire design. This classic design has remained largely unchanged over the years, maintaining the timeless legacy of President Kennedy on American coinage. The Philadelphia Mint struck 18,706,379 Kennedy half-dollars in 1985, making it a relatively high mintage year compared to some other issues. Since most of these coins were released into circulation, finding one in pristine condition today is quite rare. Many 1985 P half-dollars show signs of wear, scratches, and dull surfaces from heavy use. While millions of these coins were minted, most circulated heavily, making high-grade, uncirculated examples difficult to find. As a result, coins graded MS65 or higher by PCGS or NGC can command impressive prices in the collector market. Some 1985 P Kennedy half-dollars are known to have valuable errors and die varieties, which makes them highly sought after by collectors. Here are some key errors to look out for. Double die obverse. Some 1985 P half-dollars exhibit noticeable doubling on the letters of In God We Trust and Liberty. A strong DDO error in high grades can be worth anywhere from $100 to over $1,000, depending on the visibility of the doubling. Clipped planchet error. Some coins were struck on a planchet that was improperly cut, resulting in a portion of the coin missing a curved clip. These errors vary in size and shape but can add significant value to the coin, ranging from $50 to over $300. Off-center strikes. If a 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar was struck significantly off-center, meaning the design is shifted and part of the coin's surface is blank, it can fetch anywhere from $200 to $1,000 plus, depending on the degree of the misalignment. Missing clad layer. Some coins have been found missing one of their outer nickel layers, exposing the reddish copper core underneath. These errors can bring in anywhere from $100 to several $100s, especially in uncirculated condition. Weak strike. Due to worn dies, some 1985 P Kennedy half-dollars were struck with weaker details, particularly in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers. While not as valuable as other errors, weak strikes in high grades are still of interest to certain collectors. Market value and collector demand. The value of a 1985 P Kennedy half-dollar depends on condition, rarity, and error varieties. While circulated examples aren't worth much beyond face value, uncirculated and high-grade specimens can be quite valuable. Circulated condition, fine to XF, typically worth 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated condition, MS60 to MS64, can range from $5 to $20. High-grade specimens, MS65 to MS67. Rare examples graded MS65 and above can sell for $50 to $500, with MS67 plus coins reaching $1,000 or more. Major error coins. Depending on the severity of the error, these coins can range from $100 to over $5,000 in the right market conditions. One of the highest prices ever recorded for a 1985 Kennedy half dollar was for an MS-67 plus graded example, which sold for over $2,500 at auction. This demonstrates how high-grade and rare error varieties can turn an ordinary half dollar into a collector's dream coin. If you come across a 1985 Kennedy half dollar, be sure to inspect it carefully for any signs of doubling, mint errors, or high-grade condition. A simple 50-cent coin could turn out to be a hidden treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's move on to the next rare and valuable Kennedy half dollar. 1992 Kennedy half dollar coin with mint mark P in fine condition. The 1992 Kennedy half dollar is part of a series that has been circulating since 1964, honoring President John F. Kennedy after his tragic assassination. By the 1990s, the Kennedy half dollar had become more of a collector's item than a commonly used coin, as the U.S. public had largely stopped using half dollars in daily transactions. Despite this, the United States Mint continued to produce Kennedy half dollars for both circulation and collector sets, keeping the iconic design alive. The 1992 issue is particularly interesting due to its standard copper-nickel-clad composition, the availability of a proof version, and some intriguing errors and high-grade specimens that can fetch significant prices. The obverse, front, of the 1992 Kennedy half dollar was designed by Gilroy Roberts and features a left-facing portrait of John F. Kennedy. The inscriptions include Liberty across the top, In God We Trust beneath Kennedy's chin, and the date 1992 at the bottom. The P mint mark for Philadelphia is placed just above the date, indicating that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse design by Frank Gasparo showcases the presidential seal, a majestic bald eagle holding an olive branch, symbolizing peace, in one talon, and a bundle of arrows, symbolizing strength, in the other. The eagle's chest features a shield, and 50 stars surround the entire design, representing the states. The inscriptions, United States of America and half dollar, are engraved around the perimeter of the coin. This design has remained a symbol of American pride and legacy for decades, making the Kennedy half dollar one of the most collected U.S. coins in history. The Philadelphia Mint struck 17,525,000 Kennedy half dollars in 1992, making it a moderate mintage year. While this number is relatively high, most of these coins saw circulation and heavy wear, meaning that finding one in high-grade condition, MS-65 or better, can be a challenge. Unlike earlier Kennedy half dollars, the 1992 issue was not widely used in daily commerce, as most people had stopped carrying half dollars. Instead, many were either stored in bank rolls, saved by collectors, or remained in Federal Reserve vaults. Because of this, it's still possible to find uncirculated examples in rolls or sets. Some 1992 Kennedy half dollars exhibit rare errors and varieties, making them highly sought after by collectors. Here are some of the most notable ones. Doubled die obverse. Some examples show doubling on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you find a strong doubled die in high grade, it can be worth $100 to over $1,000 depending on condition. Clipped plancher error. Some coins were struck on improperly cut planchets, leaving a curved clip missing from the coin's edge. These can range in value from $50 to $300. Off-center strikes. If the coin's design is significantly shifted off-center, it can fetch anywhere from $200 to over $1,000, depending on how much of the design is missing. Missing clad layer. Some coins were struck without their nickel-clad layer, exposing the reddish copper core underneath. These errors can be quite valuable, with some examples selling for $100 to several $100s. Weak strike. Due to worn dies, some 1992 Kennedy half dollars have weaker details, particularly in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers. While not as valuable as other errors, weak strikes in high grades are still of interest to collectors. Market value and collector demand. The value of a 1992 Kennedy half dollar depends on condition, rarity, and error varieties. While circulated examples are still relatively common, uncirculated and high-grade specimens are significantly more valuable. Circulated condition, fine to XF, typically worth 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated condition, MS 60 to MS 64. can range from $3 to $15. High-grade specimens, MS65 to MS67. Rare examples in MS65 or higher can sell for $50 to $500, with MS67 plus coins reaching $1,000 or more. Major error coins. Depending on the type of error, these coins can be worth anywhere from $100 to over $5,000. One of the highest prices ever recorded for a 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar was for an MS67 plus graded example, which sold for over $1,500 at auction. This highlights the importance of grading, condition, and collector demand when determining a coin's value. If you have a 1992 P. Kennedy half dollar, take a close look at its condition and possible errors. A simple 50-cent coin could turn into a valuable collector's piece worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's move on to the next rare and valuable Kennedy half dollar. 1993 Kennedy half dollar coin with mint mark D and fine condition. The Kennedy half dollar series, first introduced in 1964, has remained a popular and collectible U.S. coin for decades. By 1993, the coin was no longer widely used in circulation, but it continued to be struck for collectors, vending machines, and casinos. The 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar was minted at the Denver Mint, and while millions were produced, finding high-quality specimens or rare error varieties can make certain examples extremely valuable. The obverse of the 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar, designed by Gilroy Roberts, features a left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy. The inscriptions include Liberty across the top, In God We Trust, below Kennedy's chin, the date, 1993, at the bottom. The D mint mark, indicating it was struck at the Denver Mint, positioned just above the date. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the presidential seal, featuring a majestic bald eagle clutching an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other. The eagle's shielded chest and the 50 surrounding stars represent the United States. Around the outer edge, the inscriptions United States of America and half dollar complete the design. The 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar maintains the classic design elements that collectors love, making it a staple in many numismatic collections. The Denver Mint produced 15,766,000 Kennedy half dollars in 1993. By the early 1990s, circulation of half dollars had significantly declined, meaning that many of these coins never saw widespread daily use. Instead, they were often stored in rolls, bags, and collector sets, making uncirculated examples more common than older Kennedy halves from the 1960s and 1970s. Some 1993 D. Kennedy half dollars feature rare mint errors, which can make them much more valuable than a standard strike. Here are some of the most notable errors found on this coin. Doubled die obverse. Some coins exhibit noticeable doubling on Liberty and In God We Trust. These can range in value from $50 to over $500, depending on the clarity of the doubling. Clipped plancher error. A portion of the coin's edge is missing due to an improperly cut plancher. Values for clipped plancher errors range from $75 to $300. Off-center strikes. If the coin's design is misaligned, it can fetch anywhere from $100 to over $1,000, depending on the degree of misalignment. If a 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar was struck without its nickel-clad layer, exposing the copper core, it could be worth $150 to $500. Weak strike or die deterioration. Coins that appear faded or missing design details due to a weak strike or worn dies may be of interest to error collectors, though their value varies. Market value and collector demand. The value of a 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar depends largely on its condition and whether it has any notable errors. Circulated condition. Fine to XF. Typically worth 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated condition. MS60 to MS64. Can range from $3 to $8. High-grade specimens. MS65 to MS67 plus. Some well-preserved examples can sell for $25 to $100, with MS67 plus coins reaching $500 or more. Depending on the type of error, these coins can be worth anywhere from $100 to over $5,000. One of the highest recorded auction prices for a 1993 D. Kennedy half dollar was for an MS-67 plus graded example, which sold for over $1,000. This proves that while this coin may seem ordinary, pristine condition and rare errors can significantly increase its value. If you own a 1993 D Kennedy half dollar, check its condition and look for potential errors. What might seem like an ordinary half dollar could turn out to be a rare and valuable collector's item worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's move on to the next rare and valuable Kennedy half dollar. 2001 Kennedy half dollar coin with mint mark D and fine condition. The 2001 D Kennedy half dollar is part of the long-running Kennedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination. By 2001, the Kennedy half dollar had transitioned from a commonly circulated coin to one that was primarily collected, with fewer people using them in daily transactions. In fact, starting in the early 2000s, most Kennedy half dollars were struck mainly for collectors rather than for general circulation. This makes high-quality examples of the 2001 D issue more desirable among numismatists today. The obverse of the 2001 D Kennedy half dollar, designed by Gilroy Roberts, features a left-facing portrait of John F. Kennedy. The inscriptions include "Liberty" across the top, "In God We Trust" beneath Kennedy's chin, and the date 2001 at the bottom. The D mint mark, indicating that it was struck at the Denver Mint, is positioned above the date. The reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, showcases the presidential seal, featuring a bold, bald eagle clutching an olive branch in one talon and a bundle of arrows in the other. The eagle's shielded chest and the 50 surrounding stars symbolize the United States. Around the outer edge, the inscriptions "United States of America" and "half dollar" complete the design. This timeless design has remained one of the most recognizable and collected U.S. coins for decades. The Denver Mint produced 19,504,000 Kennedy half dollars in 2001, making it a moderate mintage year. However, by 2001, most Americans were no longer using half dollars for daily purchases, meaning that many of these coins went directly into rolls, bags, and collector sets rather than circulation. As a result, while lower-grade examples are common, high-quality, uncirculated specimens are harder to find. Some 2001 D Kennedy half dollars exhibit rare errors and varieties, making them highly sought after by collectors. Here are some of the most notable ones. Doubled die obverse. Some coins show noticeable doubling in Liberty and "In God We Trust." These can be worth $50 to over $500 depending on the severity of the doubling and the coin's condition. Clipped plancher error. Coins with a missing section on the edge due to a miscut plancher can be worth anywhere from $75 to $300. Off-center strikes. If the design is shifted off-center, the value can jump to $100 to $1,000, depending on the percentage of misalignment. If the coin was struck without its nickel-clad layer, exposing the copper core, it could be worth $150 to $500. Weak strike or die deterioration. Coins with an extremely weakly struck design, particularly in Kennedy's hair details and the eagle's feathers, may be of interest to error collectors, though their value varies. Market value and collector demand. The value of a 2001 D Kennedy half dollar depends on its condition, rarity, and whether it has any unique errors. Circulated condition, fine to XF, typically worth 50 cents to $1. Uncirculated condition, MS-60 to MS-64, can range from $3 to $10. High-grade specimens, MS-65 to MS-67 plus. Some high-quality examples have sold for $50 to $500, with MS-67 plus coins reaching $1,500 or more. Depending on the type of error, these coins can be worth anywhere from $100 to over $5,000. One of the highest recorded prices for a 2001 D Kennedy half dollar was for an MS-67 plus graded example, which sold for over $1,500 at auction. This shows the importance of condition and rarity when determining a coin's market value. If you own a 2001 D Kennedy half dollar, check its condition and look for possible error. What might seem like an ordinary 50-cent piece could turn out to be a rare and valuable collector's item worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.